virtue, and that's even truer. But beggary, honored sir, beggary is a vice. In poverty, you may still retain your innate nobility of soul, but in beggary, never, no one. For beggary, a man is not chased out of human society with a stick. He is swept out with a broom, so as to make it as humiliating as possible. And quite right, too, for as much as in beggary, I am ready to be the first to humiliate myself. Hence the pothouse.
What do you guys think about I got a direct message from Solus for the elf's voice actress.
Well, well, you parried my dagger cleanly. Looks like you're not just a pretty face, human boy. Oh my. Isn't it obvious? I attacked you to get to what I want, because there's one thing that every dark elf girl wants. Her very own manslave! You, pretty boy, I like you!
Some of it feels too strong, but on the other hand, I figured that it's like the first scene, so maybe like turning it up to 11 is the right way to do it for a better impression. I mean, she is talking about man-slaves, so... Anyways, Solus is probably paying per recording, so I didn't want to be like, redo it, considering I don't really know what the alternative is. If some people like it, I honestly only care about my Japanese anime voice acting. So, like, I might be writing shit in English, but in my mind, I'm auto-translating it to my anime girls, so... You should tell him that? Nah. I don't know, man. Some people like it. You should make it Japanese dub with sub, but it's in English. There is no Japanese dub. I'm talking about my brain. Solus is once in a lifetime guy, completely committed to the voice acting work. I mean, considering that every single other person on the internet just takes my shit and then tries to make money off of it on YouTube, you can't really look a gift horse in the mouth. Anybody who's willing to give me money for the stuff I spend lots of time producing for is quite a rare breed. Considering I'm like spending like 5 hours on each of these fucking pages, it gets really annoying how anybody is making even a single cent off of my hard-earned labor. I don't like English voice actors. I don't. I like the native dialogue of everything, which is why I always watch my anime in Japanese, of course. But even when I'm playing, if it wasn't originally produced in English, then I'm not really, interested in listening into English. However, I am playing Dragon's Dogma in English. In general, I don't like English speakers in general. I only care about my beautiful, perfect Japanese waifus. The face went slow as hell to draw. Yes. Welcome to my fucking life. The people who are fast at drawing, it's not like they move their hands quicker or anything. They just don't make mistakes. In other words, they know exactly what they want to draw, and they go from beginning to end the finished version very, very quickly. You can actually look, now that I've been studying professional mangaka, because I'm doing my mangaka right now about the type of stuff they're doing. In general, they're all going to do it. Most professional mangaka can finish one page in about 4 or 5 hours. Not finish, but go from a rough draft state to an inked state in about 4 or 5 hours, even if it has a lot of detail in it. And that's because they are drawing not necessarily quickly in terms of how quickly they move their hand, but quickly in terms of they know exactly what the image is that they're trying to produce is. So once you get better at visualizing what you want to create, then you get faster. If you're slow, it means your ability to visualize is kind of weak. I'm 7 hours in on something and I haven't even finished the line art. That's just 7 hours out of a total of, 10,000 hours that's going to take you before you get good, so... Think about it this way. Those 7 hours are 7 hours you could have spent playing League of Legends and losing 4 games in which all of your teammates were Russians speaking only in Russian, and they were all playing the wrong roles and doing stupid cheesy shit. You could have wasted 7 hours doing that, or instead you could have actually done something that's gonna, improve your life by becoming a better artist. Strong visualization skills, yes. So as someone who has been drawing for a long time, it used to be like, if I wanted to imagine a scene, I wouldn't be able to imagine all the specific parts, and now I know, specifically how this arm should be positioned and how the hand should be positioned and stuff like that. And I need fewer and fewer attempts to get it to look like what I want it to look like. Like, if you're probably drawing a hand and you're not a beginner artist, no matter how many times you try and draw the hand, it probably won't look like the hand you want it to look like. And then as you start to get better, you'll be able to draw it after 1 or 2 attempts, and eventually you'll be able to just draw it without any rough draft. The only good of that game is the porn. Even the porn is kind of mid, not gonna lie. I wish I had a button in which all the League of Legends porn was converted into Dota porn instead. I feel like that would generally be an improvement. Have you read Blue Period? No, I know about it, but I don't really need to read stories about cringe art students. Instead of wasting my time in League, I waste my time in Dota. Can someone finally answer which is higher skill ceiling, Dota or League? Because I keep on hearing different opinions on this. Obviously, whoever likes whichever game's better is going to say one is better than the other, but I have no idea. You don't have to answer if you don't know. Dota, I guess. Dota is slower, but it has like more complex strategy, right? Is that the right idea? League is just like you have to press the button at the right timing, and then the timing window is much smaller than Dota. And Dota is like, oh, you have to remember that the Force Scepter doesn't apply to magic damage. So if you're gonna be building the Octarine core, you have to build it at minute 6 instead. And then the announcers who are casting the game beforehand, they're like, oh, I think this draft is horrible, and then they're completely wrong because the meta changes like every 3 weeks, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess Terror Blade is good after all. I don't know Dota, even though I played League for 7 years. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I have 8,500 hours in Dota. I often think that video game hours played timers are like the ultimate example of like shame. The number of hours you've played in specific video games is like more shameful than the number of hours you've spent masturbating, if there was a timer for that. It's like, oh, this guy, he spent 30,000 hours of his life looking at porn and masturbating, but he also has 10,000 hours in a MOBA. Ask women which is more unacceptable. Six-minute Octarine core, LMAO. He's really good at the game. He's farming like crazy. I've watched enough Dota that I know the various shit that goes on, but I've never played enough Dota to actually know like the specifics and how it's difficult and stuff. So I tried playing Dota for like 5 seconds when I got a Windows PC for the first time. I was just like, you know what? I'm not a PC gamer. This isn't worth my time. In retrospect, it was the right approach to life. I made the correct decision there. Masturbation doesn't have ranking points, does it? Masturbation also isn't reliant on your 4 other teammates. You don't have an issue where your masturbation teammate is a bad masturbator and giving masturbation points to the other team. The only MOBA I played is Paragon, and then I played the remake of Paragon Predecessor recently. And I was getting into it. I was like, yay, I love MOBAs. And then I was like, okay, it's time to fucking uninstall because I actually have to do something with my life. If I want to get better at drawing manga, I don't have time to get better at specific video games. Multiplayer video games like MOBAs where you can spend basically your entire lifetime playing it and still be in silver. You only have enough time in life to get good at like 2 or 3 things at most, is my opinion. I still haven't done my taxes yet, LMAO. I did my taxes on Friday night or Thursday night, so I just use MOBAs at uppers. I think one of the good things about MOBAs is when you're just feeling like you don't care about your life, and then you get into a MOBA game and your teammates are absolute dog shit. The anger toward them and living in general, it gives you like a kick in the pants. You're like, I have never experienced such rage such intense rage toward any human being in hours or years or whatever, and I feel like I'm alive again. If I could somehow punch my teammates through the internet, that would feel so good, and suddenly you feel like you're alive. What about those Japanese Monhan Giger gamer artists? They can't help themselves. It's intense autism. I feel much more accepting of people who devote their entire life to a single player activity than people who devote their entire life to a multiplayer activity like a MOBA. Because like single player activities, a lot more is in your control, and it's like it feels kind of stoic. Whereas MOBAs with the whole difficulty auto adjusting, you know, the Valve recognizing that you've lost 3 games in a row, so it's going to give you better teammates. That shit. It just kind of feels like you're on the treadmill of Gabe, who was you're just being manipulated, you know. Whereas nothing is making speedrunners speedrun the fucking same game for 12 years, but they still wish to do it. It's just like, it really is their hobby. Whereas multiplayer games, a lot of it, the engagement is coming from the corporate side. Stick with that. I discovered you through Solus Artorias. Enjoy the art and dialogue you give the characters. Thank you. I hope you mean stick with that as in, I don't know if you're talking about the voice actress that I just posted or telling me not to play MOBAs. Who's your favorite Dota girl? Probably Drow Ranger, considering I'm drawing an entire comic about dark elves right now. Playing a MOBA makes me feel like I'm doing chores. Playing a MOBA is like doing chores, except the people that are supposed to be helping you doing chores might or might not be actively making the chores more difficult by being shitty at house cleaning. It's like you're trying to clean your floor, and then every once in a while, one of the fellow house cleaners is standing right next to you, and you can see them like pulling down their pants and taking a shit on the floor you just cleaned, and you're like, Brad, please stop shitting on the floor. We're supposed to be cleaning the house. And he's like, yeah, but don't tell me what to do. I have my own style for cleaning, okay? You clean your way and I'll clean my way. And they just like and then sometimes you shit on the floor, and William next to you is like, why the fuck are you shitting on the floor? And you're like, bro, this is the first time I've tried waxing a floor, alright? It's not my fault that I'm shitting everywhere. And then you go to the next house, and you completely forgot the fact that you shit on the floor, and you get angry at Brad who's shitting on the floor again. I hate it when I shit on the floor at my job. It happens to the best of us. Some of my favorite copypastas from the Japanese internet are copypastas of people who are like shitting their pants on the train and stuff. The joys of public transportation when you can't get off and you're just like, I'm just gonna shit my pants now. Yep. I think there was some sort of Japanese news that a train station was currently closed because someone shit themselves on the escalator or something, and the entire escalator, because it's moving, carried the shit into its mechanism, and now the entire escalator is just like smeared with shit from top to bottom, so they had to close stuff down. Feels good, man. This guy went for maximum damage strategies. He was really min-maxing the shitting experience right there. Born to shit, forced to white. Do you guys, have you guys seen the gif of the self-wiping toilet where it wipes the toilet bowl on its own, except someone shits on the toilet seat. Self-wiping toilet shit. Epic image right here. It's supposed to wipe your ass, not itself. No, it's supposed. I think it's supposed to wipe the toilet seat, isn't it? This is like robotics in a nutshell. If we think we have some kind of solution to manual problems, we quickly realize that no, we don't. Poor guy aim was off. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, actually pretty regularly, there's always the people who shit in the urinals. Men don't shit in the urinal challenge. Difficulty impossible. Thank you, Ball, for showing. I just thought you guys need to know about this. I don't know, the self-wiping toilet getting smeared with shit thanks to human error, or perhaps not error, is sort of what's going to happen with robots in the future. Whenever we have some kind of problem that we think that we're going to fix with robots, like for example the robot delivery system, people are just going to beat the shit out of the robots and take the robots' stuff. So unless we get to a full dystopia, we're not going to have like robotic deliveries because people will just rob the robots, you know, or just destroy the robots for no reason. So until we're allowed to produce robots that just straight up murder people that mess with them, we won't actually have any kind of robotic society. Artificial intelligence versus natural stupidity. I mean, remember not remember, they're still around, but you know how we had all the rental scooters in the United States? Where they're like, you don't need to own a bike. You can just pick up a rental scooter and then leave it around. And then like somebody else can pick up the rental scooter and like sign in with the credit card and then use that. Like I hear that you can't do that in most major cities at this point because so many people would just take the rental scooters and throw them in the river for shits and giggles and stuff. Or just fucking take them apart or whatever. Some guy just stealing and dumping it in the river? Yeah. Local male robot has killed another 12 kids yet again. I mean, I think that's what we need to have if we actually want to have robots doing shit. Or else the humans will just kill the robots. Most stolen bikes get dumped too. Ironically, the only society in which that shit would work is probably Japan. Where Japanese people are willing to respect property and stuff. But on the other hand, Japanese streets and transportation is probably too complicated for robots to handle. What about a robo-girl guy who helps the elderly with wiping? Probably impossible. The Mexican will always be cheaper. It turns out that articulating human hands with robotics is like extremely difficult. Remember, we can't just have something that does what humans do. You have to do it for a cheaper price. Or else it's not actually going to get installed in capitalist society. So it's not good enough that it can imitate a human being. It has to imitate a human being for cheaper. And that's including third world people who are willing to work for, you know, minimum wage. We should give the elderly exoskeletons so they can keep youth working, or else give them the option for euthanasia. That's what I'm hoping will be legal by the time I'm old. Just put me in the fucking recycling booth and shred up my organs and feed them to the pigs or something. Whatever the fuck they're going to be doing in the dystopian future. People are already miserable as it is. Yes, but we can go farther. This is to go further beyond, guys. Baby crypto miners add a brain scan device to mine Bitcoin while they sleep. I don't think babies are capable of solving complicated mathematical solutions or whatever the fuck you have to do to mine Bitcoin, but if you think that your baby is like goddamn baby Mozart and it can figure that shit out, go ahead, I guess. I'm kind of skeptical that babies are capable of that level of computational skills. Despite what we think, humans are not like amazing batteries or computers or something. I know the Matrix has told us that if the humans blot out the sun, they can, or the robots can just tie us up and use us as batteries, but I don't think humans are particularly good at that type of things. Although, I will say that in terms of how disappointing new technological innovations we've had in the past, 15 years or so, it feels like we're already at the dystopian future stage. I think Generation Alpha and younger Zoomers don't understand, what it felt like when we were actually getting new technological consumer products growing up in the 90s and the 2000s. Because think about the new inventions they've gotten in the last 10 years. They've gotten VR, which is a complete fucking flop. Nobody wants to wear a fucking headset. They've gotten crypto and NFTs that only exist to fucking scam people. They've got an AI that only exists to scam people. They haven't gotten a single item that was holy shit, this is new and cool. They've never had a moment where with Steve Jobs walking up on stage and being yes, you get the internet in your fucking phone. Not some sort of fake version of the internet or an alternate version of the internet. You can just use the fucking internet. Everyone's oh my fucking god. Or even something like the iPod where it's you don't have to listen to a CD from beginning to the end now. You can just have all the songs you actually like in order. You can listen to music the way you want. Yeah, jumps in graphics. Yeah. We haven't had a jump in graphics in video games in 10 years now, basically. AI is bigger than iPhones. That's what the AI people want you to think. And the reason they want you to think that is because they have a shit ton of venture capitalists that give them more money, if that is the case. It might be bigger in terms of potential, but so far all of that potential has been used entirely for just making scams and making people's life worse. Whereas, see, all the things that I just listed, like personal computing, cell phones, something like iPods and shit, they had immediate benefits to the people who are using them. So everybody jumped on that shit because they were like, oh, this is great, Because there was an immediate benefit to using a iPhone, right? But there isn't any immediate benefit to using ChatGPT, for example. It's cool. It's like a nice toy. VTubers are basically the real-life version of You Look Lonely from Blade Runner. I mean, okay, but VTubers are the same as actual streamers with real faces. They just allow ugly people to do the job as well now. Write emails, bro. You could just you could just go on the internet and fucking copy paste an email from that already though. Like ChatGPT is just searching the internet in most cases to find already pre-generated shit, and then it gives it to you in an incomplete state so that it has like mistakes in it. Yes, there is. College students use it to cheat on papers and stuff. I was saying that there's a benefit to society. College students using shit to cheat on papers is not a benefit to society. It's not a benefit to the college students either. They're only going to be able to use it for like one semester because all the professors are going to fucking make in class handwritten tests the standards now going forward. Like there's an easy solution to this shit, and it's just going to be you're not allowed to write your computer a paper at home on a computer. You're going to have to write it in person. So they're basically choking their own neck right now. They're fucking themselves over. It's good at summarizing information that was without value from the start, like corporate newsletters. Yeah, except you should be learning how to do that yourself. Like any sort of information tool that is incorrect 10% of the time or 20% of the time or whatever, that has any information that's incorrect in it at a high percentage is worthless as a tool. The fact that people think that it's useful in some way or the other just means they're not paying attention, or they're doing a job in which they're allowed to make mistakes that way. But it's not a helpful tool. Anything that's wrong all the time isn't going to be fucking helpful. Got a reality check that I can't write a middle of the way paper since my teacher just flags it at AI. You're going to have like some personal writing flourishes. Like putting in per chance. Are VTuber people ugly IRL? Nah, they're Japanese women, so they're all attractive by American standards. My standards for women have become so low that if they're not morbidly obese, I'm like, what a hottie. She's not a massive fucking land whale. A woman that is a healthy weight, I'm gonna come. Do you think the next generation of graduates going into important jobs will be low quality compared to the previous? I think the quality of jobs themselves will be going down. I feel like we've entered a state of the economy where we're like end state capitalism, where people are just trying to figure out ways in which to scam customers. So it won't really even matter if the people who are creating or taking the jobs are lower quality or not. America is like massive service industry mode right now, so I need references for back muscles. I'm talking about English VTubers. You think I'm gonna watch a fucking English VTuber? See, when I say shit is a overall negative to society, I'm talking about shit like this. I want references for women's back muscles, and they give me shit like this. Are you really saying that AI is helpful for society? I can't even look for fucking somewhat in back muscle reference images anymore. Good job, AI. How many fucking muscles does he have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She has more back muscles than, yeah, Baki, son of Ogre. Jesus Christ. This shit is ridiculous, man. The internet is basically getting fucking corrupted by AI gens. And that's like the second search. That's the second image in the Google search. Back shooting a dude, basically. Dudes don't have as many muscles as that guy does. That's not how it fucking works, dude. I know how it may seem that we have like an unlimited amount of back muscles, but we actually have a limited amount of back muscles. You know, we have rotator cuff. We can actually like pinpoint which muscles we have. It just seems like there's way more back muscles because it changes depending on the arm posture and whether you're flexing. That's why it's so hard to figure out how to draw back muscles, because the back muscles that are visible change according to a lot of different factors. So artists like Itagaki, who draws all the back muscles in Baki, they're just like, they don't really care about realistic back muscle depiction. They're going more for stylization. Before 2021, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I can draw back muscles without references. I just need like some amount of inspiration. I'm just going to draw 1 or 2 lines here to hint at back muscles. I'm going to grow more muscles to prove you wrong. Yes, also make sure that you visualize how muscular you're going to be while you work out. This will increase your muscle building by 70%. Also make sure you work out 24 hours a day without any kind of rest while you take unlimited amounts of steroids. Also break your legs and have them reattached so you can increase your height by a solid like 30 centimeters or whatever. Also have all of your teeth replaced with titanium teeth. Also, visualize that you have 8,000 joints in your arm so you can punch faster than the speed of sound and break the Mach barrier. Definitely won't bite me in the ass later in life. I was following a guy on Twitter. Well, not following him, but I was paying attention to a guy on Twitter. He was a Japanese guy who felt bad that he was a manlet. So he went to Turkey to have his legs broken and reattached so he could gain height. And unsurprisingly for a Turkish hospital or whatever, he got infected. And he was... it seemed like he was gonna fucking die for a while, to be honest. But I think he pulled through. I was really hoping that eventually his Twitter post would stop, indicating his death. But the last time I checked, he was still posting, so he's not dead. The people who actually get their legs broken so they can get taller, they can't even walk or run. They're basically on stilts for the rest of their life. It's a really, really bad idea. It really shows how desperate you become if you're a manlet. When you're shorter than 6 feet tall, women treat you as a joke. So men are like, okay, I guess I have to break my legs. It's the only way for Stacy to love me. No kidding. By the way, I'm certainly not the first guy to talk about this, but I think it's truly ridiculous how women have tried to ban all attractive women from advertisements and shit because they think it's bad for their self-esteem. The self-esteem issues, women's beauty standards are so much lower than men's beauty standards and are so much more reliant on women's own personal choices like diet and working out and shit like that than men's beauty standards. And yet, like, they want to purge all attractive females from media so they don't have to look at people who look better than themselves. It's kind of fucking crazy. Like, you don't hear a single thing about men being like, no, please don't show images of David Beckham. It's unrealistic to have such an attractive man. I can't compete with Ronaldo. I don't want to see a fat bitch in a bra all the time, LOL. Unfortunately, women want to see people that are less attractive than themselves to make themselves feel better. It's just like standard female mentality. I don't go to date meetups, but one complaint I often hear in Japanese Gokon, which is like the date meetup thing, group date meetups, is that there's like one Stacy that all the guys want to date, and she'll be like, okay guys, you bring your friends and I'll bring my friends, and all the guys are like, sweet, we'll get all of Stacy's friends in the one place, I'm sure they'll be hot. And of course Stacy only brings women who are significantly less attractive than her because she wants to make sure that she's the number one in the situation, and all the guys have to fight over Stacy's attention, but she already is decided that she's gonna date Chad, so Chad gets Stacy, and then basically all the guys get stuck with fucking monsters. And what we're having with beauty standards, with women not wanting to see attractive women in lingerie commercials or whatever, is basically the media version of that, right? They'd rather look down than look up. It happened when I played Yakuza. Stacy le bad, but I love Stacy. Stacy isn't bad, she's just being a normal woman. I'm not saying that this is a Stacy problem. I'm saying this is a woman problem. If it wasn't Stacy and it was Becky, Becky would also find women that are less attractive than her. Too bad there's not a cute boyish childhood friend. Unfortunately, the boyish childhood friend is getting fucked by ugly bastards right now, so she's not available, but... Are there Japanese Karens? Not really. Because there is no such thing as Japanese white people. Or white women, especially. There's Japanese women that ask for shit, but in Japan, service is already... Most Japanese people are way more accommodating than they need to be. And service is already good. So you don't see like true Karens. Karens are kind of like a symptom of white women having way more privileges than everybody else in society and never being told no their entire life. So they get like a weird view of the rest of the world and they never kind of get out of that. And the people who are going to complain to the manager in Japan are probably going to be women, but the baseline of service that you expect in Japan is already pretty high, so I'd say they're way rarer. You will have, there are some words like monpea, which is monster parents and stuff. So there are some things like PTA women and stuff like that. It's not entirely non-existent, but I think it's a little bit rare. What would you classify my mom as? I mean, she's not a Karen. She's Japanese, so she doesn't ask for... My mother is like an up-and-coming go-getter who has earned everything she has in life, so she's kind of the opposite of Karens, actually. She's like a fucking psycho immigrant who came to America when she was in her teenagers on her own in the 60s and worked, you know, worked without a work visa and made her own wealth and shit. So I'd say she's like the opposite of Karens. Yeah, unfortunately, my mother sort of puts me to shame, but I don't care. I'm gonna still live off of her parasitically. Like mother, like son. I'm like the opposite of my mother. I'm absolutely not leaving her house. We're staying here as long as possible. If only the worst aspects of feminism didn't take root in her head. It's kind of the opposite. She's someone who wants to do whatever the fuck she wants. And if you're growing up in the 60s and 70s patriarchy, then that would prevent her from doing what she wants, which is why she became a feminist. She basically escaped Japan because she absolutely refuses to do what anybody tells her to do besides what she wants to do. So the order is the opposite. Parasite single life feels good, man. She refused to become an NPC, yes. And it's very easy and important to become an NPC to survive in Japanese society, so it makes sense that she left. No trad wife lifestyle for her, I guess. Had a child as late as possible. I think a lot of boomers had childs later in their life. That's not that weird in terms of boomer mentality. Your dad won the lottery with your mom then? He didn't really win the lottery. He got my mother because he was like a fucking giga beta. In other words, he was willing to be submissive and breedable, which attracts women who don't want to have to deal with men telling them what to do. It was all according to plan, I guess. Ball came out just fine. Unfortunately, because my dad succeeded at reproducing despite probably having mild autism, now he has a like true autism son who isn't going to reproduce. I think my mother has maybe like 10% autism and my father has like a solid 40% autism. So I was born with, you know, a nice, 60 to 70% autism, which is called Asperger's. And if I have a kid then they might come out with like, 85% autism, and then I don't want to have to take care of that shit. So we're ending the trail of tears here. The silent generation fucked the moment they came back from the war, gave their children a very accommodating childhood, gave them the entitlement to rebuild the broken world, had children late as a result. Yes. And now the entire world is fucked thanks to the decisions that the boomers made. You can't put global warming entirely on the boomers, but you can put a good chunk of it on them as well, so. Your rage squeal from your dad's old man smell was the most autism from you. I don't let other people in my room. If I had the opportunity to have sex with a woman and she wanted to sit on my bed, I'd be like, get the fuck off, bitch. That bed is for me and me alone. So yeah, we're not reproducing anytime soon, guys. About that. Who's going to inherit your own skills? You don't inherit skills. Also, my skills aren't that very good. I don't have genetic level art talent like some people might have. I'm not saying that artists don't have genetically inherited skills and stuff, but my inherent art talent isn't very high. A lot of my art talent comes from me not giving up and just drawing for a really long time. People that are actually good, like who are truly talented, are good from a much younger age than I am. I have a genetic talent to become addicted to alcohol. Took its place instead. Yeah, one of my good genetic talents is that I don't have any kind of addictions. I don't have an addictive personality, so I don't get addicted to gambling or drugs and shit like that. So far I'm doing pretty good. Draw more gooder fastly. It's just not going to happen on stream, honestly. I've been drawing gooder fastly recently, but not on stream. It's not gonna fucking happen. Which of Rudius' wives would best fit you, homie? I can't even remember their names now that I think about it. None of them. As soon as lowly redhead punches me, I'm out of there. Probably the elf, so she doesn't get old woman smell. Rudius has multiple non-aging wives. He has the half-elf, his half-elf childhood friend, and his not an elf, but also doesn't age very much, old teacher, lowly, eternal lowly. Well, I don't really want an eternal lowly, so... Child talent isn't worth much. Code with 9, so see everybody else to catch up in the 20s. Yeah, but who cares if you're good at coding or not? Nobody fucking cares if you're a great coder. Nobody celebrates our best programmers. There isn't a Toriyama Akira of coding that everyone knows about. The blue-haired girl has her race's equivalent to autism, true. Which is why we need to correct her with the human cock. It's the only way. And the red-haired girl is the equivalent of being a violent sociopath, so... Only the elf is somewhat helpful, but... I think I'd rather just be alone. You know that you're not going to have any relationships when you start thinking about perfectly constructed anime waifus and you're still like, I think I'd prefer to just be alone. When you don't even have to suffer from the consequences of being around those women IRL and you're already like, yeah, I think I'll just be alone. Being alone sounds nice. You're fucking done for. Coding motherfuckers literally made AI for coding. They are literally ruining their jobs. Maybe they want AI to ruin their jobs. Maybe they just don't want to code anymore. I think a lot of people are just like, AI, please just fucking take my job. I'd rather be unemployed and starving in the street than continuing this job at this point. I think it's the funniest thing is when Fox News and stuff are all like, they're taking the coal miners' jobs. Green energy is so evil. It's like, bro, who the fuck wants to have a coal mining job in the year 2020? It's like one of the worst jobs you can have in your entire life. You're going into like a shitty dark tunnel, grinding fucking coal out of a shaft, and every once in a while the shaft is going to collapse and you're going to get buried alive. And if you don't even if you're not buried alive, you're going to like get some sort of lung disease and die at 50. And Fox News is like, no, think of the coal miners. You're taking their jobs. It's like, fuck off, dude. Holy shit. Who wanted to have a coal miner job back in the days? The people that would literally starve in the Appalachians if they didn't have the coal mining job. Coding is cool and satisfying until you start working for a company. Yes, here, take this gigantic mess of spaghetti code that was left to you by the previous person in your position and figure it out. Oh, you don't understand how it works? Well, too bad. Also, half of your co-workers are minimum wage Indians that you're going to have to communicate with on Zoom calls and shit. Development is cool, maintenance is a fucking nightmare. I'm sure it is. The only way to make coal mining appealing is to make an anime about big titty anime girls working in coal mines and exploring their lesbian relationships. Also, all this will take place in a world where men don't exist, but they won't say anything about it. You just will never see a man show up ever. Also, it will have a catchy 4 Japanese letter title like K-on. I think the Japanese word for coal shaft is tanko, so it can be tanko exclamation mark. I tried to watch Bocchi the Rock recently because it has such a good reputation, but at the end of the day I can't watch cute girls doing cute things shows where it's just like men don't appear. It's just cute girls doing cute things the entire time, and you're supposed to be like, yay, I just love being in this atmosphere where there's a bunch of cute girls. It's just too weird how like you're just living in an environment where there are no men. There needs to be a threat of cock. There doesn't even need to be a threat of cock, it's just weird. I mean, have you seen Love Live? I watched like a few episodes of Love Live, and there's like an episode where they go out to Tokyo because they're living their idyllic Japanese real world town, and they're like walking around in Tokyo, and people are seeing the other Love Livers on the giant screen TV, and there's literally not a single man in any sort of situation. It's like Cars, the Pixar movie, where there's only cars. There's no humans, just cars, thousands and thousands of cars. No people to drive them, just the cars. Toho LOL. Yeah, but in the case of Toho, the doujins are like the real thing. So, according to my Toho doujins, my new Kobo doujins, every single one of the Toho girls is getting hypnosis, mind controlled, raped by ugly bastards, and enjoying it. So it doesn't bother me that there's no men in the actual video games of Toho. The doujins are the canon in this case, so. Female idols are watched only by guys. That's actually not true. There's females who follow female idols, and they're not even lesbians. There's a lot of Japanese girls who like cute girls in a heterosexual fashion. Girls like cute things, so they also like other cute girls. Obviously, the ugly bastard men are way higher in percentage, but sometimes there's a few females here and there. That or the men are censored. Lol. I can't remember an anime where the men are just straight up censored, or like they're implied they exist, but they are only shown off screen, like Snoopy, the adult in Snoopy. I can't remember anything like that. I always because like if you're animating something, why would you even need men? If you don't need to imply men. Even the implication of men is too much for the anime weebs who don't want to even consider their beautiful Yuri relationships getting ruined by men's cocks. It's like Blue Archive, where there's this whole advanced society with aware robots, anthropomorphic and woman ages from 13 to 30-somethings, and there's one guy in his 20s. It makes sense why all the Blue Archive students are so desperate for Sensei's cock, considering he's the only guy available. Sensei, please. Please, I need the penis. No. The entire world full of anime girls will stand up and scream, "Help, please give me the cock," and I will say no. In Non Non Biori, there was a brother that didn't speak a word in some guy in the last episode. Yeah, sometimes you have family, I guess. I think the only actual man that interacted with any of the Love Live girls is fucking Lelouch. Lelouch in the mobile game. He's non-threatening to the anime otaku because we all know he's a fucking virgin. His cock is completely controlled by C2, so we don't have to worry about him having sex with any of the Love Live girls. His cock is reserved for C2, and his asshole is reserved for Suzaku. He's too busy getting the big Pizza Hut butt. Don't they have dildos in that universe? Sensei is the dildo. You mean bussy? Oh, excuse me for incorrectly using one of your internet words. I must refer to everything as the consonant ussy going forward. Alpha C. Dark Alpha C. I think it's nice to have the word drow, but I think it's trademarked by Dungeons and Dragons Hasbro, so I'm using Dark Elves, even though it takes a little more writing than drow. Drussy. Delphacy? Sounds like the Oracle of Delphi or something. Cynic Doshi has his manga that is about to be adopted in anime. Are we talking about the Fat Elf manga? Drow is an old name for evil forest elves or something. How developed are your delts and traps? I don't know. I have a pretty normal body, to be honest. But by American standards, having a normal body is like you're fit, so... I mean, I run about 5 miles every day and also go to the gym, so... You know, I'm appropriately thin. I'm doing okay in terms of my body. Is it wise to have sex with a chubby girl? I wouldn't know, but I'd assume not. If she's chubby already, imagine how fat she's going to be in the future. If you're not prepared for that level of girth, then you probably shouldn't be knocking up a chubby girl. I know for some people having an extra fat is a bonus, but I've just grown up too much around fat Americans that it has no value to me. I much more value delicious flatness in Japan. As long as like the woman isn't anorexic levels of underweight, I'd prefer for them to be on the thinner side. Big boobs are nice for a while, but as she gets older, they're also going to start to sag and lose their aesthetic appeal, so I prefer the eternal beauty and youth of having no boobs at all. The perfectly flat Japanese body type. £300 Nikocado avocado waifu. I always have to be careful of showing images of Nikocado avocado on stream because there's a high chance that we're gonna see his naked asshole and cock and stuff. So, but yeah, here we go. peak vegan body type right here. Both of them, by the way. Not gonna lie, veganism is probably bad for you. It might not be bad for you in terms of like actual nutrition, but whatever psychological impact it has on your brain, we see a lot of people go down the road of veganism and get fucked up. Show us his gaping anus, coward. I'm on 4chan enough that I've seen Nikocado Avocado's gaping anus and cock and balls multiple times. And honestly, it's not any worse than the rest of his body, so I do appreciate him for just existing, because it is the true modern 2024 entertainment where you get to watch somebody actively kill themselves over the period of like 10 years or something, and you get to watch him die in slow motion. However, he's not dead yet, so who knows. Recently, Akebono died. He was a big sumo wrestler from the 90s and early 2000s and stuff. He went all the way to Yokozuna, and he died at like 54 from heart failure. So sumo is truly incredibly bad for you. It's the combination of both being overweight and doing contact sports, specifically martial arts, both of which are bad for your lifestyle or your lifespan, and you're doing both at the same time. You're just asking for your heart to explode. If all of you stick with me, I can show it. Someone's like, don't worry guys, I got you. I got the Nikocado Avocado sex gaping anus folder on hand, just in case, just for this specific occasion. It's right next to my Goatsy collection. Death speedrun? Yeah. The only thing that could have killed the sumo wrestler faster is if he became a mangaka afterwards. You suck cock but don't eat meat. It doesn't make any sense to me. If sperm doesn't count as being alive, it shouldn't get in the way of vegan pledges. I don't know, man. I don't see what's the problem with like eating eggs, right? Chickens lay eggs, whether they're fertilized or not. So if your number one complaint as a vegan is that it's like cruelty to animals, just find a farm that has free-range chickens that are living happy, fulfilled lifestyles and eat eggs from that. You can't ask a chicken if it's okay. You don't have to ask a chicken if it's okay or not. They still are gonna shit out those fucking eggs every day. Also, chickens have like 5 IQ. Animals that I feel no guilt in eating is like chickens and fish. If you ever go to a aquarium that has the sardines type fish that swim around in circles, if you actually see them IRL, it's just like, bro, these things exist to be eaten. They have like 0 brain function. They're just like opening their mouth and swimming in a fucking circle. You have to humanize the animal and to ask yourself if it's okay or not. Surely Mrs. Cluck Cluck doesn't mind my penis being inserted into her body. Not a thought between those eyes, literally me, for real, for real. When you look into the dead, lifeless eyes of the fish, you see the average psyche of the modern American worker who has to work 50 hours a week with no benefits. Skyrim music and ambience, rainy day. They just take like the Skyrim music and then like put some rain in the background and you don't get banned from YouTube. Cloaca. I'm kind of glad that we don't have to worry about sticking our cock in the same hole in which both shit and piss comes out of. That seems like a raw deal. You know what kind of penetration I like? Those beetles that have like a hard weapon-like cock that don't just... The female beetle doesn't even have like a vagina. They penetrate the female beetle and they're literally stabbing them with their cock. I forgot what it's called. But it's like your cock is a sword and you're stabbing the woman with it. The most powerful form of cock. Oi. I used to be an adventurer once until my arrow got hit with a knee or something. Nipple penetration is good too. I fucking hate nipple penetration. As soon as the artist starts doing nipple penetration, I tune out. I straight up prefer skull fucking over nipple penetration. Wasn't Asagi nipple fucked? Not Asagi. I think there's been other characters in the Time Machine universe that were nipple fucked. Her sister got nipple fucked at one point. But that was after she was turned into like a giant flesh object. That was in the same scene as when Murasaki, the blue-haired girl, got turned into a cube. The infamous cube scene. Sakura got changed into like a giant flesh object. Peak female form. I fucking hate it when the boobs are too big. I've started following a lot of AI artists because they're using Lauras for Oranjimaru, like the best doujin artist. So I was like, cool, more art of it. But then a lot of the AI prompters, they make it so that they increase the boob and ass size by like 40%, which I think is kind of grotesque looking, to be honest. I saw the CGs and was like, what the fuck? How is that even a fetish? Are you talking about the cube fetish? The Black Lilith, the software company, was like, hey, we thought of a new fetish. What about cube fetish? Maybe this will catch on. It didn't catch on. It was a massive failure. We haven't had anybody else who's like, I want to fuck a cube since then. So, yeah. Nobody was like, you know what? That's fucking hot. I fucking love cubed women. Huge tits, huge ass, increased body fat, 1000%. Here, let me explain. Here you have the female form. Right. We'll give her some contrapposto. Let's to further accentuate the female form, let's give her a one-piece racing swimsuit. The most based of all outfits. We'll give her a black one-piece racing swimsuit right here. high cut. So this is already pretty thick, right? If you look at the thighs. So looking at this, we can see the female body has just a natural flow through the body form. That has a good feeling to it, right? Meow. Meow. It has like a streamlined feeling. So you take that, and instead of having that streamlined feeling, and instead you're like these guys who are doing the AI prompting. They're like, oh, that's not a good enough though. I have to tell the computer to give her massive, gigantic boobs and gigantic, massive ass like this, right? And now the flow of the female body is ruined. Instead of having a streamlined feel that goes like this downward feeling, this motion, the flow, it's something like this, right? It's all like, it's ruined the feel, the speed. This no longer looks like a female. It looks like a grotesque imitation of female beauty that can only be achieved by exaggerating what was once natural features. Their chests look like landing strips and their asses freaking eclipse the rest of the body. BB like his woman hydrodynamic. I was on a swim team for about 10 years, by the way. Using AI still trash at art. Unfortunately, good taste cannot be taught, no matter how hard we try. Was your life like free? If you mean like free, if I was having a lot of homosexual tension between my teammates, no. I haven't watched Free, but I assume that most of Free is spent implying homosexual implications, so... You only swam with men? No, I swam with females. Let me give you a pro tip as someone who's on a swim team. You don't actually have any personal interactions when you're on a swim team. Swimming is not a team sport. It pretends like it is, but it's not. It has it's truly the autist sport where you can get away with having absolutely no personal interactions with anyone. Now draw her pregnant. You missed the opportunity. I would have drawn her pregnant, but I deleted that image. Favorite type of tan lines? I do like the one piece. Actually, any tan lines is fine. I like all tan lines. I'm not going to be too picky about my tan lines. Not gonna lie. Any kind of tan lines is hot. There's no nipples in free. Are you serious? I thought it was like giga horny, but it's not. Damn, you're right. They don't have any nipples. You know, I'm so used to seeing images of bodybuilders who don't have nipples IRL because the way their nipples work out, the nipples get hidden underneath their massive pecs, so you just can't see them naturally, but you're right. The free boys don't have nipples. Some women don't like male nipples. Women just, they just want to make men into their sex objects. They don't care if they're changing our natural body. Naturally, bodybuilders, pick one. Okay. Naturally, by using $10,000 worth of steroids every month. Who the fuck cares? All humans have nipples. Women will modify men to suit their needs. And if it requires the men to be gay or not have nipples, they don't care. To be fair, male nipples are useless. That's not what my homosexual dojins tell me. In all the gay dojins, the guys are all getting their nipples pulled on, and they're like, no, stop, senpai! You're gonna make me come! It's like, oh, are your nipples weak? We could only hope to be on the level of Liver King and The Rock. I heard that the Liver King, besides using a lot of steroids, excuse me, he's all natural, how could you say that? He also might have implants in his abs. Like he has like a plastic plate inserted into his abdomen. Which is kind of fucking crazy if you think about it. Fake abs. Are you serious? There was a Japanese Gravia idol that I was following on Twitter because I liked her abs. And then I realized that her abs were like perfectly toned and, you know, visible in every single posture, just like the Liver King. And I'm like, oh, right, what? She has a fucking fake abs as well. Jesus Christ. Everybody's a cyborg nowadays. There are implants for the arms too. One guy at university had those done when I studied. Okay, let's actually look at him. Now we're going down the Liver King rabbit hole. Liver King body. Does he really need implants for this though? Like, man, look at these fucking veins. There's no way a man like this could ever use steroids, guys. Holy shit, look at the fucking veins. It's pretty funny. Yeah, there's no reason why his abs should look like this when he's not actually flexing. He's just relaxed. Like, there's no posture in which his abs aren't perfectly 100% visible, which is clearly an example of a fake abs, right? I don't know if he has anything injected in his arms, though. It's not like his arms are super bulky. I feel like he could get that far with just, like, standard steroid use. Excuse me, all natural bull testicle eating. Fitness influencer Keck. I'm a drawing influencer, by the way, all natty. No tools used here. It's over, Synthol Bros. Isn't that the one where you inject oil directly into your arms? It doesn't look like he's doing that. I've seen all the shots of the Russian guy, the Popeye guy, who basically almost died by doing that. He's a perfect example of people that the medical community should not step in to save his life because, you know, he doesn't fucking deserve it. I can't believe, like, surgeons saved his life pro quo for free when he's just gonna fucking do the same shit again. All natural, no reference. I'm drawing these characters with no reference. Then they explode and you die. Feels good, man. Speed running life. Could there be a possibility that he's a freak? Don't tell him that. He'd take it as a compliment. He's like, that's right, I'm a genetic freak. But it's also because I eat all natural liver and meats every day that you can get in frozen format. My supplements. It's pretty funny how the term freak is just completely a compliment nowadays. I'm a freak! Manly way to die instead of forgetting how to breathe in a nursing home. Yes, instead forget that injecting oil into your arms is not the same as actually having muscles. That is the way to go, guys. He doesn't need to get the same recognition as Michael Phelps, an actual genetic freak. Michael Phelps truly is a fucking genetic freak. The guy has like webbed feet or something. It's a shock that we haven't been told that he actually has gills by now. If it came out that Michael Phelps was created in like a test tube in a US lab to create hybrid humans for specialized purposes like swimming, I'm pretty sure nobody would be surprised. Everyone would be like, yeah, seems about right. Oh, speaking about sports, have you guys been following Otani getting fucked by his translator? Who seems like he's the true king of screwing people over. He placed like 20 bets a day for, I don't know, 8 years or something, and like the average bet was like $500,000 or something. He fucking used like $180 million. Like, I don't think anyone will be able to compete with that level of embezzlement. He might be like the king of embezzling shit. I don't know shit about Japanese baseball. That says a lot considering it's not Japanese baseball. Otani is literally the most famous fucking baseball player in the world, so it shows you how little people give a fuck about baseball at this point. Baseball is finished considering nobody gives a fuck. Lex Luger is withered and wheelchair bound. The steroids left him to die. To be fair, that's like pretty typical steroid use though. It's not just him, right? Most contact sport, especially martial arts sports, cause you to die early, but you combine that with steroids and you're really asking for it. Sumo wrestlers, professional wrestlers, sports in which you have to get hit for it to work are really bad for you. I forgot baseball existed, LMAO. Even judo, you don't get a lot of falls in judo, so it might be slightly better. But wrestling, professional wrestling and sumo wrestling both, you have to smash into each other. There isn't like an option to not smash into each other. So you're really asking for it. And then sumo, you're like super fat to begin with, so... What about stuff like kendo? Kendo isn't really a contact sport. I think you can probably get concussions from it, but not as much as something like wrestling and shit. Baseball is finished while still giving players uncapped salaries, but isn't the salary cap based on, or not even the salary cap, the general money based on the money it's still bringing in? Like I don't think it has casual appeal, but if it's just going to be a playground for the rich, like the people who own the Dodgers and whatever, does it even matter? If the rich want to give baseball players like $1 gazillion every single year so they can experience the joy of their team winning the World Series, it doesn't really matter for me. Just don't give them any public money to fund stadiums and shit, and I'm fine with that. Some study once said fencing is safer than table tennis. I mean, that stuff is probably like... it probably varies, I guess. Like, you can't really get conclusions from those types of studies because there's only so many professional sports players. So a lot of the number of people participating in the study is going to be pretty low to begin with. But I think I just saw a graph where that had like the average lifespan of different professional sports players. And at the bottom was sumo wrestling, but right near sumo wrestling was also bicycle racing. So all the doping that the bicycle racers were doing was definitely cutting their lifespan a ton. It turns out that using shit tons of steroids is bad for your health, or your long-term health. Who could have thought? It's shocking, isn't it? Cauliflower ear is fucking disgusting, by the way. I mean, it's no more disgusting than standard Liver King body. You can always go for fake martial arts like Aikido. Also Taekwondo. Shout out to our Korean viewers. Also Shaolin martial arts. Pretty much anything that claims they have like a long traditional Asian history of like Asian secrets and stuff. Anything that shows up in Kung Fu Panda is probably fake. Never would have thought it was that harsh. You mean like bicycle lifespans? I mean, I think it's not the case anymore because they dope themselves out of the doping business. But for a while, bicycle racers were like the most drug-filled humans on the planet. They were basically Jack Hamma. Kung Fu Panda is fake, feels weak, man. Yeah, Kung Fu Pandas aren't real, and neither is Kung Fu. Cycling is low impact. If you don't use steroids, it's pretty okay. You might kill all your sperm, though, if you don't have the right bicycle seats and stuff. Because you're sitting the entire time, so your balls get heated up. In general, the thing that's best for you is probably running. In that graph, runners had the longest lifespan. So unless you're like that Kenyan marathon runner who got caught cheating on his wife and jumped out a fucking window and died, you're probably going to live a long life. My zoo was lucky to receive the endangered animal. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about pandas. I don't understand why pandas are like the king of zoo animals. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's a fucking panda! It's a panda! Oh, the panda! It's amazing! Oh, there's so many other cool animals in the world. Why is the panda so special? Why do people nut their pants by getting a panda? Why are we like, please, China, I'll let you have military forces stationed in our country just so you can give us a panda? Pandas are worthless in captivity. Pandas are worthless in general, guys. They're fucking endangered for a reason. They can barely reproduce without human help. All of their diet is made up of eating bamboo and shit. Honestly, they're like the #1 animal that should go extinct. Like, why are we spending so much resources to make sure this thing stays alive? It's ridiculous. That's the hot take of today. Pandas should go fucking extinct. In the wild, they're doing pretty well, but humans destroy their habitat. Well, there's a lot of Chinese people out there, so that's not surprising. What was their role in the environment again? To be cute. Wasps should too. I agree with that. We should find a way to make wasps go extinct. Fuck wasps. Kill all wasps. It seems like they want to die out anyway. Well, humans aren't going to let them. If there's one thing we know about humans is that if a certain percentage of humans think an animal looks cute, they'll continue breeding it even if the animal is trying to go extinct actively. Look at certain dog breeds and stuff. Humans are like, oh my god, isn't that bulldog so cute? Look at his big jowls. He's such a cutie, cute. Look at him, look at the bulldog female not being able to give birth without human help because their hips are fucked up. And look at all the health problems they have. That's so cute. I'm surprised people aren't more dedicated to manatees. I feel like manatees are in like the same category as pandas, in that if we don't do something, they are going to go fucking extinct. But they're kind of like dumbass, idiot, weak animals that I think that we should like consider to be cute. But I guess people don't care about manatees. I don't know. Manatee is ugly. But it's in the same category as like bulldogs and pandas in my mind. Look at my deformed dog. Isn't the deformed dog? It's so cute. Cute. Bed bugs only affect humans. Kill those fuckers too. Oh boy, aren't we trying? Bugs are the ones where like, yes, let's make them go extinct. And the bugs are like, LMAO, no, we ain't going extinct anytime soon, bitch. We're gonna be around after all humans are gone. Just a wannabe seal sea lion. Did you hear about... Apparently there was some kind of East Asian manatee-like thing. And they were really smart, and they were also social. And they showed up. When humans showed up, they would come close to the boats and be like, hey, what's going on? And then, so the humans who showed up, they would fucking stab the manatee-like thing. And so it wasn't dead, but it was like bleeding out. And then the other manatees would come to try and console and save it. And then they would kill more manatees, and eventually they went extinct. I read about this in a Japanese comic. Oh, okay. It's not a happy ending. I like this thing. It's also a different manatee that isn't completely extinct yet. Oh, a comic? It's based on the real story, unfortunately. This is like a manatee-like thing, but it's around Okinawa. It's obviously like some kind of bottom feeder. They call it Jugon. But I like how it opens up. It's giving you like the blowjob face as it's sucking the bottom of the floor. It's like, I must suck. Feels good, man. Look how dumbass this motherfucker looks. They're like, holy shit, there's algae there? Yeah. We have to protect these things because they're around Okinawa where the Americans want to build like another base. So, unfortunately... Oh, I think this might be it. Stera Kaigyu. Yeah, this is it. The Stera Kaigyu. So, according to this, they were just, there were about 2,000 of them living near the North Pole. They didn't do anything but just float around and eat seaweeds. Then a bunch of boats came, and the people started eating them, and they couldn't swim away. And also, what was extremely tragic was that they couldn't leave their buddies behind. So, when humans would stab one of them, they would all go to the location of the dying manatee thing, and they would try and save it, and then they were all just killed, and then they died in 27 years. Feels sad, man. Stera Kaigyu, I believe. Ocean cow, I think, literally. Yeah, they're large, but they couldn't do anything. Fun fact, sailors away at sea for a long time mistook manatees for mermaids. Let's be honest, they didn't actually mistake manatees for mermaids. They were just so fucking horny that they just wanted some sort of excuse to fuck at something, anything. They were just like, yo, dude, that thing looks like it's kind of fuckable, vaguely fuckable object. They couldn't help themselves. The worst aspects of the human spirit. You'd think that we have learned from it, and unfortunately not. This is why I find it particularly silly how Western countries are like, Japan stopped eating whales when Western countries were just like murdering whales for their oil for like a solid 50 years or something. Not that I want to eat whale. Whale tastes pretty bad, apparently, so... I think the only reason that Japan still does whale hunting is because, like, the far right-wing politicians just want to hold on to something. That thing kind of looks like your mom, LOL. Your mom jokes are... They're kind of getting old, sadly. Once we all recognize that a joke is part of a specific format, it's gonna die out. I wish I was alive when your mom jokes were like, people actually got angry that you were insulting their mother. Nowadays, you can insult someone's mother and they won't care. Do they eat them? They claim that it's for research purposes and then they get eaten. But obviously, there's a lot of other things that Japanese people could be eating than whales, and it's not even that popular, so it's completely unnecessary. On the other hand, they don't actually catch that many whales, so it's not that big a deal. It's for food, yeah. Because Japanese used to eat whale. Because, you know, it's a fucking island in a fishing country, so... But is an animal that doesn't reproduce that often? I mean, that's definitely true, which is probably why you can't have large populations of whales being killed. But I think at the current numbers, it's probably not that big a deal. One way or the other, I don't really care if Japanese whale fishing boats would stop that shit, but I also think that it's kind of fucking stupid to... It's weird how whales are kind of put on a pedestal. We have like certain animals that we put on pedestals of like, this animal is more important to our psyche as human beings than this animal, you know? Like whales are supposed to be super smart, but we don't talk about, and so we're not supposed to eat them or some shit, but we don't talk about how smart pigs are, for example, and we eat a shit ton of pigs. Charismatic megafauna. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. We are much more crueler to sharks. I think it's way more important that society tries to stop the Chinese from eating like 10 billion shark fins per year. But, yeah. Good luck with that. China don't eat various animals until extinction challenge. Difficulty impossible. Bacon is more tasty. Apparently there's something called whale bacon, which is what you eat if you eat whale stuff. Because whales have a ton of fat, just like pigs, right? And apparently that's pretty good. But if we can eat pig, why eat whale, you know? We were making whales go extinct. Yeah, which is why I'm saying it's hypocrisy, because we were making whales go extinct for the whale oil, not for eating. So it's right to point out the hypocrisy that Western countries being like, shame on you, Japan, for eating whale, when they were just like using whales as their source for oil lamps for like 30 years and just like murdering everything. So pig on land, duh. But we use the whole this animal is smart, so we can't do mean things to it for a lot of shit. Alright, I made very little progress, but I tried my best. That was like 2.5 hours of drawing. But really it was just me chilling with you guys. That's enough streaming for today. I actually have to draw for real now and get shit done. So I'm going to end the stream here. See you around, guys. Good night.